Welcome to the Tolleson-Mack podcast. We got our main man, Dakota. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
You doing good? Caesar, what do you know about this guy? I'm going to let you roll with this
one. Me and Dakota have had some great times together. We traveled a lot together, pro rodeoing back in the day. He slept a lot. I drove a lot.
He's a horrible driver.
Well, I get us from point A to point B, by golly.
Is that why you slept? You're like, fucking, I ain't watching this.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think that's why. It was like he'd go right to bed as soon as we pull out the gate. But I tell you what, I'm proud of this guy. He slowed down rodeo and he kind of retired rodeo about 6-7 years ago. That was about the same time the rope horse Futurity's picked up, and now he went from being one of the best healers out there in the game, and now he's one of the best show horse guys in this game.
How many horses did you bring to this?
We brought 12 to this one.
12? Yeah, we're sitting here.
What about last week at Rock Springs? Tell everybody how much you took over there.
I think we took 23 or 4 horses.
Wow.
I have to ask my wife, but I think we had 7 or 8 win over 10,000. We had like 4 win over 20,000. I think there was 75% of the horses we took won at least their fees back.
Wow.
And then here we brought 12 horses. We showed 10. We brought 2 just young horses. My wife does a cow horse on one, and the other one was just green horse, just trying to get him going. And we had 5 make the finals here.
You got any in the cell?
No, sir. I didn't. I had a couple options, but it just didn't work out. I needed to definitely have something here to sell next year for sure.
Yeah. How do you like this event so far? First one, how do you like it?
I think they're doing a good job. I mean, it has a great concept to it. All these futurities are, I guess the way I look at it is it pays the bills. So however they want to run it, whether it's any of the futurity associations that it may be, obviously my favorite ones are the ones that pay the most money. But however they want to do it, however they want to run them, is fine with me. I don't make the rules. We just try to figure out what the judges want and do the best job we can.
How did it work out for you in Rock Springs?
We did pretty good. Like I said,
yeah, you were saying that. What you got? But I mean, horses work good.
When you take, it's a great event. It's a long ways away. It pays really good. The weather's nice there. Obviously, it's nice right now here, but it's been
beautiful in here compared to where we
where y'all live in Arizona, of course. But I always, I guess, think about the horses that did the worst and what I need to do with my program and myself to make those horses better. A lot of people want to talk about the wins. Well, the wins or whatever, I work on what's not working. What is not working, I try to figure out how to make that work. Where, no, I'm not the best at it, and I just try to get better each day and learn. And me and my wife, we ride too many horses. We get to do what we love. We do love horses. We love being outside. We don't want to be in the house.
But that's a great way to look at it, though. You focus on the horses that maybe didn't do.
Yes, sir.
So I guess they don't get left behind, right? Because if you only focused on the winners, the ones
yeah, well, 100%. Yeah, you got to manage. It's all a managing thing. You have to learn how to manage them all. The good ones, all of them have to be managed, no matter what. The good ones obviously seem to be easier, but some of the ones that win the most are even harder to manage than one that's just an average horse, And all the horses, no matter what, they either are going to go home to their owner, which is usually a lower level roper, or we're going to sell it to a lower level roper. So at the end of the day, you have to make sure that everybody can handle them, ride them, enjoy them. We got horses that, a horse that gets scratches. I know you don't know what that means, but it's a very annoying thing on their legs, a fungus on their legs. So we have to wrap this horse and hose it off. To really get it to heal, the best luck I've had is you hose it off twice a day, rewrap it twice a day. Because that's a process. It takes a long time. Teaching a horse to back out of the trailer, it's a process. When
everything that guys I rope with take for granted.
Yes, when you come buy a horse or you pick a horse up that's been in training with us, it's gonna, if everything went smoothly, It's going to be healthy. It's going to be hauled. It's going to know how to travel. And when I say how to travel, it's going to know how to eat, drink on the road. It's going to get in and out of the trailer good. It can be tied up. I mean, we have horses tied out there right now, 3 of them right now. We own 2 of them. One's a customer's horse that we didn't show today. They're just tied up out there. We spends a lot of time. I mean, it takes a long, long time to do what we do. I would love to be more successful than what we are. It's just you're only as good as the horse you ride.
How does a customer get a horse to you?
Man, you just call me or Facebook or whatever.
Do you vet them? Do you
Well,
go
it just depends. So, say you're going to come to me and you say, here, Dakota, I'm just using this for an example. Say I have $40,000, $30,000. No, thank you.
Give it to 'em. It's fine. Give it to 'em.
No, you're fine.
Give it to 'em.
And
You look thirsty.
and they give you $30,000, $40,000. They say, okay, go find me a horse. Okay, so for that budget, you should be able to get a pretty good horse. You really should. That's a lot of money. You're gonna go get you a horse, and cheers. Love y'all too.
Jesus Christ.
Give it to 'em.
Yeah, have a shot. Take a drink.
Just what I want.
Shot break. We're having a little shot break.
I love my wife, if you can't tell.
True love, true love.
That's what it's all about, really.
Really is.
While Dakota's taking a sip real quick, I want you to know
This podcast brought to you by Corona Extra.
Corona Extra.
And it smells like Fireball.
It does. So you give us the money, we go buy a horse.
Right.
Okay. When we buy the horse, we're gonna, whether I have one at my place that a different customer has that wants to sell, or I go find it. Or we find it at auction. Yes, we're gonna vet check it extensively, and they're gonna X-ray its front feet, back legs, back. Make sure it sees good, hears good, heart's good. Kind of like a physical exam for a human being. So you're gonna do that, and then after that, that's when the work begins. And
But you go find the horse for the customer. Does the customer ever call you?
oh yeah, so
Say, I've got
a majority
this
of the
horse.
horses, yes, a majority of the horses I have, a customer has, and they're like, "Oh, it's my favorite horse."
It's my favorite
My
horse.
baby.
I pet it every day.
And I
I've
want
been giving it equity. It's got a top line now. In the challenge. Yeah. Stuff like that. That happens.
all the time. So then they send us the horse, and we start riding it and see what happens. The sky's the limit, and
Have you had some that really surprise you? Like when they get there, you look at them and go, "Oh shit, what did I sign up for?"
so I mean,
You don't gotta give us names, but you can
no.
say
So
some surprises.
yes, there is some surprises from time to time. I mean, there's one come from California last year, and this guy, I'm friends with him, and our kids play baseball together and stuff, and he sends me this horse. They unloaded out of the trailer, and I'm like, there's no way this is gonna work, guys. I'm like, this horse is skinny, ugly. I'm like, guys, this ain't gonna work. Oh, he's a good horse. I'm telling you, I promise he's a good horse. All right. Well, sure as shit. This is a real horse. He's been to one Futurity this year, and I did a horrible job heading on him, and we're going to show him a lot this year. And he's sweet looking now, works really good, off the wall bred, just a random bred horse. And that's the other thing, people with papers, they're like, oh, we want certain black type breedings, metallic cat or whiskey and diamonds or whatever. I mean, everybody to each their own. Everybody can do whatever
Everybody's
they want.
got their own
Yeah, I
opinion,
mean, and I don't care. And that's one thing that I think what makes us so successful is if it's a good horse, we'll ride it. We don't care how it's bred.
Yeah.
If it's a good horse and it's a willing participant, we'll try. And so I think that's what makes us, I guess, a little bit different than a lot of people. A lot of people try to really stick to one thing. We're cool with it, but yes, they will send some crazy shit to you.
I would imagine. I mean, that probably does set you apart because that's pretty fucking cool, right? I mean, 2 ways. I can call you and say, "Hey, I got 40,000. I want to get in this game. What do I do? How do I get to play?" Or "Hey, I bought this horse and I'm going to send it to you, and you check it out and you say, hey, he's good or he's not good, or this is what we need to change with him or whatever." So that's pretty cool.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, you make a lot of people mad, but I tell them the truth, and I'm just like, look, we can make, for an example, say you send me a horse and I'm like, well, this is a nice horse for y'all to rope off of, a lower level roping, but he's not going to be competitive at this. And some people take it good, some people don't, but it's expensive. I mean, to come here and do this, it is very, very expensive.
Give everybody a rundown. So you, as a rider, trainer, you don't have any outside money coming into this deal. The owner pays for, stalls,
Yeah,
shavings, and little things like
obviously,
that.
yes, you put it. So, the owner pays the entry fees. The owner pays for the stall. The owner pays for the shavings. Okay. And then, like my company, we split it up between all the customer horses we bring to the event. They pay for our hotel rooms
Oh, so if you bring 12, whatever it is, your cost, you divide it by 12.
for our hotel room.
That's
Yes.
fair enough.
And then every horse gets mileage. So we charge the customers for hauling them around. And then, like the days the horses actually show, we charge them a day fee. And like everybody does it differently. Don't get me wrong. Everybody does their billing however they want. I mean, it's how everybody wants to do it. But we found the easiest to just break it up like that. And then obviously, then on top of that, you get a monthly bill for us to train your horse. And it's, I mean, just like anything in America and the economy, it's expensive right now.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is very expensive, from feeding the horse to buying a saddle to buying a bridle to buying the roping steers we rope. It's very, very expensive. So, yes, I mean, I would have to ask my wife, but I would say to come here to Guthrie. I don't know the exact amount, but I know just in the entry fees, the stalls, the shavings, I mean, you're looking at close to $1,500 to $2,000. That's before mileage in the hotel. It's $1,000 to enter your horse. If you enter it in the side pods, say it's a 4-year-old. Well, I know for sure my wife's horse, we entered it was $1,600. She's 4 years old. She's in the 4-year-old. She's in the Royal Crown, and she's in the owner side pod because she owns it, and they have a little side pod deal for that. So that horse costs $1,600 just to enter it. That's before you buy a bag of shavings or a stall.
So that's a couple grand.
Yeah.
Right.
Right
2,000.
out, right out the gate. So,
like
and then like one thing I try to tell people, and I'm like, look, whatever you buy your horse for, whether I help you or whatever, you need to be okay with at the end of the year. You put that horse in training for 12 months, whether it's me or anybody, Caesar, anybody the horse goes to. You can send it to any of these trainers here. You need to be okay with understanding that, hey, I gave $30,000 for this horse, and 1 year from now, he might only be worth $30,000. And if you cannot afford,
that might be the cheapest part, right?
Yes.
The spending the 30,000 might be the
if you
cheapest.
can't afford the entry fees and the training, you probably don't need to get into this game. And I try to tell people that right out the gate. I mean, look, it's expensive. Like I've never advertised. I've never done any advertising in my life. I don't like social media. I think it's all the worst thing in the world. And so I've never been like, hey, can we send me a horse and I'm going to charge you money? No. People call me and they're like, hey, we want you to ride our horse. I'm like, okay, sounds good. I'll try it. If it goes good, great. If it don't, I'm sorry. Whatever happens. And we try to, we're very blessed that we've got some very substantial customers. I mean, we got I'd have to ask my wife the company's name, but Gary Milliken, he come to me, his kids came to me, they never roped. They've been a huge people in my life. They're just great people. I don't know the name of their company that the horses are under. They just started it this year.
Let's ask her.
Babe. What's Gary's company? What are the horses' names under? What is the horses' names under Gary's family? No, the name of the company, the LLC. Yeah, Exclusive Equine now. And I'll promise you in 10 years,
That's going to be the game.
they will be known. They've done some very big things in 6 months.
Yeah, that's what I kind of gather from a lot of these people, right? It's you're building a house. All these guys right now are just pouring a foundation, and that's why all these deals are starting, because everybody's ground level. They're getting in. They're getting ready. You can't build it without getting a presence.
Yes,
That's what Bobby Moat was on a little before you, and,
Yes, sir.
and he was saying the same thing. We take some of these racetrack bred horses and try to turn them into head horses. Well, now what I'm gathering from him, they're kind of getting into where they're getting the babies bred right and the studs.
So, like on the breeding aspect of it, so exclusive equine, Neil and Jody Wanless, and Dean Tufton. I ride horses for all three of them. DT horses. Okay. All three of those people, and I have another customer that just called me this week, is going to do the same thing, are figuring out what the ultimate cross is for a roping horse. They're raising them, they're buying them, they're doing all these things to create what's going to be the next deal. I mean, Trevor Brazil, Miles Baker, the Solo Select, all these things are happening, and everybody's wants their piece of the pie. I don't know what the ultimate cross is. Like I said, I mean, we got some horses that are running bred horses, that come out of Bill and Deb Meyer's program that we've had good success on. We got some metallic cat babies, we got 2 studs in a mare. One of the studs in the mare are out of Freckles Playboy bred mares that did a lot. Then we got one that's out of a dual ray mare, I believe. And so it just depends, I like the cow horse world, they're going to say a dual ray metallic cat's the ultimate cross. Some people are, I guess. Everybody has their own opinion. But I foresee the way things are happening. I mean, obviously, if we had a crystal ball, it'd be different. But like this sale, this is the first sale. 10 years from now, this could be something pretty big. I mean, this is the first year, and it's not huge by no means, but there's some good quality horses here.
And it seems to me, outside looking in, there's a good quality product.
Yes, sir.
With this.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Like I say it on every podcast I've done for the last 3 days, but it's so much more enjoyable for me to watch a head horse get to work down the arena instead of throwing 30-foot of rope, which I'm not taking nothing away from those guys. That's badass. They can do that, right? But getting to watch him rope and pick that steer up and then give you guys the ultimate shot right there, it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. For sure.
And for somebody that, like, somebody like me that likes to watch the horses and likes to be kind of involved in things, I get to watch more of it and more of it. And I do think you're right. I think the event like this is going to grow.
I mean, all these fraternities, so like Caesar said, it started in 2017. That's when I went to the first fraternity they had at Fort Worth, Texas. I had heard of the fraternity stuff, when I was younger. It didn't quite work out. But now, this day and age, I mean, I know for sure my cousin Tate, Cole Davison, and myself, the three of us literally quit rodeoing what we were doing. And this is our full-time job. And I know for a fact I make more money now than I've ever made in my life.
There you go.
And like I tell my wife all the time, like she's like, well, you do this to you. I'm like, you do this to yourself. I said, I know I do. She's like, why do you have so many horses? Why do you take so many on? Why? Well, I don't know how long this wave's going to last. And
That's fair enough.
I want our place paid for. Everything we built, we paid for by riding horses. We owe just a little bit more, on the house and stuff. And we have a nice place. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it's a nice home. We have 4 kids, and I want it all paid for. Once it's all paid for,
the barn might get smaller.
I'm not saying we're going to cut back drastically, but I can honestly say I do agree with less is more. The whole reason I quit rodeoing was I didn't want to end up like some of the older people that rodeo. And the whole reason why I want to cut back and do better, I don't want to end up like some of these older horse trainers. Anything in life you do, if you make the wrong decisions along the way, it could be detrimental to your life for the rest of your life. And I feel
100%.
like the wrong decision along the way, whether it's you make a customer mad or whatever it may be in this industry or just like rodeo, and sometimes you stay too long. Like you said, you had Bobby Moat on here. He rodeoed for a long time. did real good. Caesars rodeo for a long time, did good. I got lucky, made the finals a couple of times. I don't want to stay too long. I want to ride the wave, and I don't want the wave to drown me, if that makes sense. Like,
It makes perfect sense.
I want to enjoy my life. I love my kids and stuff, so we spend a lot of time with them. And I mean, me and my wife's goal is to eventually we want to raise our own horses, and I mean, eventually try to get ourselves in a situation to where, those the loyal customers have been with me a long time and have done a lot of good things for me and my family. And when I say a loyal customer, I'm talking about somebody that lets you go a whole year everywhere you want to go, and you don't ever win $1 for them. And they're like, hey, it's fine, it happens. That's a loyal customer. There's a lot of people that jump in and you do real good, and then you go and you don't do good. Then they jump around to people. I don't want to do that. Like, I want loyalty goes a long ways with me, and Caesar knows that. Like, I'm a very hard-headed person, and loyalty means so much to me. If you're loyal, you're loyal, and anybody that knows me knows that nobody has more fun than I do.
We had a good time, man.
I like to laugh. I like to joke. Me and my wife like to have a drink and have fun. Yes, you can always take it too far, but for the most part and the majority, I mean, we raise our kids and we want to enjoy our life. And this industry right here, we have an opportunity. I wouldn't say to like change the outcome or nothing like that. We have a pretty good chance that if I do my job and I work hard, 10, 20 years from now, who's to say I can't have this exact event and be my own event?
Right. There's nothing to stop it.
And then that's my whole goal. Eventually I want to have sales and I want to do things like that. But you gotta build it up. Like young people getting into this game, it's very hard to get frustrated. The one thing that frustrates me is about young people. Good friend of ours, me and Caesar's, they're like, oh, you work so hard for little return. Well, I think too many people nowadays think they're gratitude to that.
They want instant gratification.
Yes, sir.
Right. Just because you pick up a rope, you should be able to go the NFR. No, that's not how it works.
Well, I mean, not even that, but it's just like this dude. I mean, yeah, the amount of hours you put in to train a good horse, it's not feasible. But the reward it is for yourself every night when you go to sleep. I tell my wife all the time, an honest man's pillow is the greatest thing in the world.
Oh, and
when you see a horse come and grow and do things, where these younger people, and I say younger people, they're my age, but they act younger to me, I guess. They don't understand that. They're like, oh, you got to work so hard for little reward. Well, it's part of life. Like,
and you might just like it.
Yeah, I do.
You know what I mean?
I do love hard work.
You see the return. So sometimes other people don't see the return that you do.
Yes.
And it ain't none of their business. You know what I mean?
Like today, we have a horse here of Dean's. No, she did not do great. It was her first show. She's 6 years old. She's won a lot in the cow horse world. It meant more to me to get that horse through 3 runs and make the short round over here. Even though I know she's probably not going to win nothing. But in October, in December, a month from now at the next one, that mare is going to develop, and I'm going to win a lot on her. But it all takes time, When I was a kid, everybody's like, oh, it takes time, drive you nuts. And it does. It takes time. It takes a long time. And
to do anything right.
Yes, sir, 100%. I mean, I don't care if you're a mechanic, a school teacher. It doesn't matter. It takes time.
Shortcuts only work for so long.
100%. And I guess, I don't know, like the kids in this world nowadays, they're just like, oh, I want instant gratification. Well, and they might see more of that through the internet and stuff. I don't know. I do have a Facebook page. I don't know how to run it. I don't even know how to pull it up. My wife and the lady we pay runs it. Right. The customers like it, so that's what we do. I make fun of Caesar all the time for it. I'm like, I don't need that shit. I've never needed it. I don't want it. It's none of my business. I don't care. I'm going to get up every morning, and I'm going to put my boots on, and I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can until I'm tired.
I respect that.
And then when I'm tired, I'm going to come in and I'm going to hang out with my kids, and I'm gonna go back and do it the next day.
Right.
And
you know, there's something to be said for that. Your kids are going to see you do that.
Oh,
and
our
then
kids
they
are awesome.
become better adults.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? And my dad worked his ass off. He come in here, it was raining outside. He still went out there and worked. You know what I mean?
Oh, they know.
And nowadays you see some kids that like they don't even want to get off the couch. Like I'm sorry, but some of my family's kids, I'm like, why are you letting these kids sit inside right now? My daughter like goes over there and they want to play video games. Hey, do you know about this? And she's like, yeah, we ain't allowed to have no video games at my house. I can run the shit out of a skid steer though. You got one of those?
No, I totally agree with that. Like our kids are big in sports.
Yeah,
big in sports, and we practice sports. We all get out there and we play baseball, we play volleyball, we play basketball. Ain't none of us any good, but we sure have fun. My wife is a very I don't know how would you put it, but she gets up and works out at 5 o'clock every morning. She's a very driven woman.
Beast.
and nobody works harder than her. She makes me thrive to be a better person every day.
That's cool.
And you can't be lazy around her, so none of us can be lazy. Caesar's been to my house. Yeah, we will get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning in the wintertime. She will work out. I will help get the kids ready for school, cook them breakfast. We'll send the kids to school, and we start riding horses. And whatever, I mean, each day is different, but on a daily basis, you know, we're there, and we might stay up till midnight with our friends when they're there eating, having fun, and we're going to get back up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And anybody that ever comes and stays at our house after about 4 or 5 days, they look at both of me and my wife, and they're like,
you guys don't eat lunch.
You guys don't eat lunch.
You just eat breakfast.
Apparently
and
that's
dinner.
stuck with Caesar. You guys don't eat
Breakfast
lunch.
and dinner is all you guys eat.
We're freaking not even talking about lunch. He's like, you guys, they don't eat lunch. I don't understand the problem.
So yes, so I guess a daily breakdown in our house, if it was under 100 degrees, we start way early, and yeah, we eat breakfast with the kids, and when she takes them to school, I go to the arena. Me and my crew start riding horses. She comes back, unless she needs to do the billing or something. She starts riding horses with us, and we ride all the way up until she got to pretty much go get the kids. She brings them home, and depending on what we're doing or where we're going next, I mean, we just work. I mean,
Stay after.
I mean, our life, I guess, sounds boring, but it is work. But like I said, we do what we love. We you know, my wife's getting into this cow horse deal, and I love the cow horse, and I'm horrible at it. But you think training a team roping horse to win a Futurity is hard? Get you a 3-year-old and try to go to the snaffle bit Futurity, and you tell me how hard that is. It is the hardest thing I've ever seen in my life. Some of the greatest horsemen in the world I've watched bang their head against the stall. Like, man, that really didn't go as planned. And
That didn't go like it did at the house.
exactly. So, you know, I mean, we get to do things with horses and meet people, like meeting y'all, and me and Caesar have been friends, and like rodeo, and, you know, we got to see things and travel, but it's been a blessing. It's been a wild ride. You know, just like Billy and his family. Billy worked for me for a while. Me and his dad have become really, really good friends. Me and his mom have become really close. You know, the people you meet and the relationships and the bonds you build, I feel like are probably the most important things. A lot of people just take a lot of that stuff for granted, you know. Like I told my wife today, we didn't have a great day by no means. I shouldn't say that. We had a decent day, but in my eyes, it wasn't great. I am a very perfectionist person.
No way. There's no way I would have gathered that.
Unless I've only had one perfect Futurity. I entered 4 heel horses. I heeled 16 in a row by 2 feet, and I placed in the top 6 on all 4 horses. Nice. That was a perfect day to me. I've only done that one time out of 100.
It's a good day, dude.
I mean,
Still a good day, though.
Still a good day, right?
And today, you know, here at this Futurity, we showed 10 horses, and I got 5 of them to the short rounds. So that's 50%. In my eyes, that's unacceptable. That's not good enough. So obviously I have things to do, but today I was just looking at our horses, just their appearance. And I told my wife and the kid here working for me, Flacco, he's a great guy, Santos Martinez. I said, thank you guys very much. They looked at me and they're like, what? And I'm usually laughing and joking with them and being a smart ass about something. And I was like, no, I'm being serious this time, guys. Thank you. They're like, really? For what? For what? I said, our horse is just tied to the fence. Their general appearance looks good, and I appreciate that. I said, I know that sometimes I get wrapped up in how they work more than how they look, and I'm thankful for y'all. And my wife does a great job with that, you know.
And that's respect, right? Like, I mean, even Brandon all the way down, like, to his baling guys, he'll get on here and he'll start talking about the guys that work for him baling hay, or, like, the guys that work in my plant. Become family.
Yo.
You get, like, real, like...
You need them.
He's like, you need them, you know, so...
And that's...
I was going to ask you a question along those lines, and then we'll let you get back to... It looks like you got a hell of a party going on over there. But, who's
She
on
just wants to spend money on a horse.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Hey, who's on the crew? You walk us through the crew and what their jobs are, and what's it take to get you down the road.
I'm the foreman.
When
I'm
but
there.
not at lunch.
When I'm there, I'm the
He
foreman.
thinks he's a foreman.
Superintendent.
So at my house on a day-to-day basis, we have a Spanish guy that's worked for me for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. His name's Arnan. He's about 7 foot tall, weighs 300 pounds. Nobody wants to fuck with him.
I was just gonna say, does he double as a fucking bodyguard?
He's huge.
He is an amateur tattoo artist. He did a pretty good job. He got me my E for my wife.
That's sweet.
He's a great person.
It's not something you put on the resume.
His great guy. His father-in-law worked for Robbie Schroeder. I looked up to Robbie so much, so he knows he knows quite a bit about horses. He feeds and he cleans. And then we got Santos Martinez works for me. He's a great guy, does a good job. And then Mikey Kumsingler or something like that. I always say his last name wrong. Mikey works for us. He does an outstanding job. They both rope with me and show some horses from time to time. Mikey's a younger trainer, got a handful of outside horses starting out. We gave him a good opportunity to come work for us, and gets to show some horses and do some things. And Flacco got to show some the other day. We call Santos Flacco. He got to do some showing the first time the other day.
He looks Flacco.
And
he looks like he needs a cheeseburger.
Oh, he'll eat. He won third in the first one he ever got to show. He showed 3 horses and he won third. I was really proud of him. Did a great job.
That's cool.
And then just me and my wife. And there's always,
Superintendents around.
Yeah, I mean, somebody comes and goes. And in the summertime, we've started to get, I guess you call it like interns. Like this was our first year. We had a couple of high school kids come and just hung out and work for us for a little bit. And then we, each year is different. Like right now, Santos, he wants to come and go. His family does a lot in Arizona, so he'll be back and forth in the summer and work for us through kind of the busier time. And then in the wintertime, it just depends. Just depends on what's going on. I had a kid named Reed Booz who worked for me for a year, did a great job. Now he's in Missouri training horses on his own. So it just depends,
Cool.
True Lucina's worked for me. It just depends on the time of the year.
Sounds like a good crew, though. Like, you got a lot of
well, and that's
parts
the other
from
deal.
you can tell when you talk about them.
Well, that's the other deal. And everybody that's ever worked for me, they've seen people come and go. And the one thing that I am very big on, if you don't want to be there and your life isn't dedicated to it, I don't want you there.
See you later.
And
You have to work hard over there. It's part of it, though. I mean, if you want to be successful
we
and
work
get
hard,
to the
but
level,
we play even harder.
That's good. Well, we'll let you get back to playing, man. I appreciate you coming over, giving us some time.
Yes, sir, y'all, and thank y'all very much. I mean, honestly, this stuff, I give them shit about it, but it is going to help. I mean, our sponsors, they enjoy it. Fastback, Best Ever, Bowie Nutraceuticals,
Signature Equine.
Tolleson-Mack.
Tolleson-Mack.
He loves it. And then,
Marisco's.
yeah,
Let's give Marisco's a shout out.
Equine, Charlie Buchanan, them guys. It's on with everything you do, your sponsors, in anything, y'all know.
Yeah.
They become your family. I mean,
They do.
my vet.
And if not, they don't last very long.
Yep. Like everybody on my shirt, when I rodeo, you have all these sponsors and all these things, and everybody's all cool and happy when you're winning, but when you're not winning, they're not there.
Yeah.
These people on my shirt, they sponsored me when I rodeoed, and when I quit rodeoing, they stayed with me.
That's awesome.
And we've built a loyal relationship.
You might not admit to this, but that probably has a lot to do with you.
He's a good dude, man.
You know what I mean?
I hope so. I mean, I try to be a man of my word, and I know we make mistakes, but I try to do the best I can.
Hell yeah. All right, right, man.
Thank you.
Go
Yes,
back
sir.
to that party.
Oh, yeah.